Hello, and we are back with Slay the Spire. This will be my first time giving it a try. I have watched a fair bit on YouTube, but I haven't seen like much in the way of like advanced strategies or anything like that, so there's still quite a lot to figure out ourselves moving forward here. I won't be playing for too long, seeing as I just had a 2-hour stream of Factorio. So this will be our final game to wrap up with. I just wanted to give it a quick go since I picked it up literally a couple hours before the stream started. It should be interesting to see how well we can do in our first run, I suppose. We only have access to the first class. Don't remember its name, but I remember the second one is like a poisony class. So we only need to complete a single run for that one. The Ironclad. The remaining soldier of the Ironclads sold his soul to harness demonic energies. He has Burning Blood. At the end of combat, heals 6 HP. Alrighty then. Let's just jump right into it, I suppose. Let us take a look at what our starting routes look like. We have two choices. I'm not quite sure what the best balance of question marks and fights are currently. I think we'll pick the right route since we're literally just learning the game. It looks a tiny bit easier. I'm not sure we're quite ready to try out elites or anything just yet. Achievement unlocked, Purity. Defeat enemies by playing cards. I think we can probably afford to skip the tutorial since I have seen a bit of the game beforehand. We're going to be hit for 11. We can block for 10. We don't have weak or anything like that or any potions off the get-go. So I think we'll just try to take as little damage as possible in these starting fights. We have the ability to heal up, so any little bits of damage we take just like that shouldn't matter in the long run. It's gonna block, so I think we'll just go for 3 strikes. And I think that was a good first 2 turns, all things considered. Okie dokie, get our cards back from the discard pile. Just gonna attack for 10 again. We can do 18 damage, but he does have 6 blocks, so I think we are just gonna want to wait a turn again. Don't think we'll have enough to kill him. We'll try bash and a strike and see if we can kill him next turn. This has 11 health. And we have 12 damage. Probably more than 12 damage because I can't. Not sure where to see how much a vulnerable adds onto it, but I do know it applies extra damage. Then we get our first card selection, and this is like one of the main draws of the game, obviously, so you get to build your deck as you go along. I'm not quite sure what kind of deck we want to go for off the bat. Armaments seems pretty good. Against one enemy, Sword Boomerang is definitely better than our basic strikes, but I don't think enough so that it's worth getting at this point in time over these two. I imagine this probably stacks up a pretty high amount of damage with strength buffs. I'm leaning towards either Cleave or Armaments, but I don't think we need to worry about AoE as much of this early on. So I think I'll give Armaments a try, and then we'll probably remove a block at next opportunity. Maybe we'll end up going for like some kind of block-oriented deck. Among the stone boulders, you notice an intricate, large blue statue resembling a wing. You find gold spilling from its cracks. Maybe there's more inside. Wing statue. We can pray to remove a card from our deck and lose 7 HP. Or leave. I think we will just pray right off the bat, since we did. We did just pick up an upgrade to one of our blocks, really. We'll try to stay at around a lower number of cards because we want to make sure the cards that we pick we see often enough to actually use. I don't know what the ideal number of cards to keep is currently, but that's something we'll sort out as we go along, I suppose. Come across an inconspicuous pedestal with a shining gold idol sitting peacefully atop. It looks incredibly valuable. You sure don't see any traps nearby. Golden idol. So we can receive the golden idol as trigger trap, which I imagine is a set artifact or something. And I imagine the trap will probably be some kind of debuff. I think we'll go for it just to see what it is, and then we'll know probably on future runs whether or not it is worth it, depending on where we're standing. So that gives 25% more gold. Okie dokie. Game giving us a tip. So as you grab the idol and stow it away, a giant boulder smashes through the ceiling into the ground next to you. You realize the floor is slanted downward as the boulder starts to roll towards you. We can become cursed, get an injury, take 20 damage, or we can lose 6 max HP. I think we're fine to take the 20 damage. So I think we'll go for that currently. You throw yourself at the boulder with everything you have. When the dust clears, you can make a safe way out. Sounds good. So now we have another fight. You have 2 louses. They have curl up, so they gain block upon taking damage once per combat, it looks like. And they're going to do 12 damage to us. So I think we'll block twice, and then strike one of them to pop their curl up. Because I don't think we're going to one-shot them with any of the cards we have in our deck currently. Probably want to armaments if we can this turn. Though, if we want to take the least amount of damage, definitely want to play a block, but now I think that armaments is a block, so I think we're good for an armaments and 2 strikes. Oh, we can pick something to upgrade. It shouldn't matter too much this combat. But it's good to note that it lets us select ourselves. I don't know why I thought it was random. It probably would have said if it was random. Yep, seems good. Let's see, can we take him out this turn? We bash and then strike. That alone is 17 damage, and that does have 6 lock on curl up. So that means he has effectively 22 HP. This is 12 plus 9, which is 21. So I think we will just bash and then strike once. So I think either way he was going to have 1 HP left. And this way he's at least vulnerable next turn, even though it doesn't matter at 1 HP. Just good to get those habits going for future battles, I guess. Got an Ancient Potion, Gain 1 artifact. Is there no reason not to drink it immediately? Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 4 block. That's a skill. Gain 2 strength, and at the end of the turn, lose 2 strength. Or deal 6 damage and deals an additional +2 for all of your cards in your deck containing strike. So I think if we are heading towards a more block-focused deck, we should probably go for Rage. Because that'll give us plenty of opportunities to gain block over our strikes that we currently have. Later date. He's not doing anything of importance this turn. We could dump everything at a damage, but I think we might upgrade Bash for next time we see it and then just use it immediately. So now he has Ritual. At the end of the turn, gain 3 strength. That should be alright. So this is pretty much a superior defend at this point in time, since we are going to want to block and then strike. And this will give us 8 compared to 5 for regular defend. So we won't be taking any damage. The last card of our deck is a strike. So we can potentially upgrade something else again. This is 18 damage currently. That's not enough to kill him. So I think we're just going to try not to take damage this turn. And then hopefully we'll be able to finish him off next turn. Yep, that should be plenty of damage. Power cards. So there's something to be said for this if we get a lot of skills to thin our deck in the middle of a battle. We do have armaments and that other card, Rage, I think it was. I'm leaning towards Headbutt since I don't think we're going to get a lot of corruption at this point in time. Maybe later on once I have more skills. I don't think we need a second armament, though it does give us a reason to replace one of our defends again. If I think about it, if we get Headbutt after having played armaments, we pretty much can guarantee we get it a second time anyways. So theoretically, we don't have any card draw, so we can't exactly make use of this in a single turn. So I think we will just go for Headbutt. And then probably remove something from our deck at some point, if we can. It's going to do 10 damage. I think we're going to armament on Bash, defend, and then strike. This guy steals our money, so we're going to take him out pretty quickly. Gain 1 artifact. Artifact negates the next debuff. So I definitely haven't seen this version before in what I watched. So it's good to know that it means a different type of artifact effect than I thought it did before I accidentally just wasted it. So next time we think an enemy is going to debuff us, we're going to want to try and throw that down. If we do 10 damage again. We don't exactly have a good way to block that. I don't believe we can kill him. Definitely has way more HP. We'll probably just throw down a single defend. Headbutt. Even getting a bash back, I don't think it'll be enough to finish him off next turn. So we'll just go for a strike. And by strike, I mean armaments. Strike is what we use at the end there. He isn't attacking, so maybe armaments wasn't the best choice. I wonder if it just swaps back and forth between defensive and attacks. I think we will just bash and then strike. And then next turn we should almost assuredly be able to take him out. He has 14 HP. Yep, that is indeed enough. Slowly gaining back our HP from after getting that golden idol earlier. So next choice is Rage, Body Slam, or True Gift, Grit. I almost said I don't see the benefit in True Grit, but thinning your deck is not that bad of an option. And if you play it like last in a turn, you usually can like have your hand whittled down to whatever cards you want removed from your deck. But I think it being random at the moment is a bit too harsh of a penalty, like in our deck currently, since we have like no way of getting extra energy to make sure our hand is nice and small for when we want to use this, as well as card draw. Don't think we need a second Rage. Body Slam could be a good option though, considering the direction we're taking our deck. So I think we'll go for that. So now we can go to a campfire. We can rest or smith. Don't think we need a rest. Let's upgrade a card. I think armaments is the right choice. We'll just go straight for that. Another question mark. Big fish. As you make your way down a long corridor, you see a banana, a donut, and a box floating above. No, upon a closer inspection, they are all tied to strings coming from holes in the ceiling. There's a quiet cackling from above you as you approach the objects. What do? You can heal 26 HP, gain 5 max HP, or receive a relic and become cursed with regret. Regret is unplayable. At the end of your turn, lose 1 HP for each card in your hand. I'm leaning towards 5 max HP, I think. So we'll just go for that. You eat the donut, it really hits a spot. Your max HP increases. Alright, so we'll leave, I guess. So we can go left and right now. There's treasure either way on the next node. After that, we have another campfire on the right, or a shop to the left. There are no more shops on the right, so I think we will go left. Are there any elites along the way? Doesn't look like there's any elites past this point, either direction we choose. So we'll go left and see what the chest gives us. 80 gold and bottled like lightning. Upon pickup, choose a skill card at the start of each combat. This card will be in your hand. Starting with armaments might not be that bad of a choice. I think we'll go with that, especially compared to these other options. I don't see why I wouldn't pick that. Nope, that's that. On to the next fight. So we have 2 enemies attacking us for 18 damage. We will probably armaments first. Our body slam will do 13 damage. If we block. As long as we kill this louse, we'll take no damage, so I think that's what we're gonna do. Even though it is a bit of overkill. Let's see, so he's gonna do 8 damage this turn. That's probably gonna be a rage, a strike, and a headbutt. Half our deck is already updated, or upgraded pretty much, so I don't think we need to pick armaments for next turn. Bash might not be a bad idea to get a lot of damage done. It all really depends on what we're going to play after that, and I don't even think like a Strike Plus would be able to kill him in a single turn. So I think we might go for... we have 3 more strikes. So our hand is going to be whatever we pick, 3 strikes, and then a random card. I guess armaments upgrading those 3 strikes is probably the best choice, seeing as we're probably going to need to play for like another turn or 2 against this guy afterwards. We are now vulnerable, and he is going to inflict a negative effect on us. We could Ancient Potion, but if we can kill him by like next turn, we might not need to worry about that. Might be better off saved against like a really bad debuff against like a boss or something. We'll just do 18 damage, make it easier for us to finish him off next turn. It's gonna entangle us. Not play attacks for 1 turn. Knowing that what that was now, probably would have used the potion. But we have plenty of defense anyway, so I guess it didn't matter. And we probably can finish him off now. Yep, just bash, strike. Poison Potion, and another card selection. We have 8 block, draw a card. Deal 4 damage and apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. The way this is worded, I'm not entirely sure if it's deal 4 damage and 1 vulnerable to all enemies, or deal 4 damage to 1 enemy and 1 vulnerable to all enemies, but I'd have to imagine it's both to all enemies. Both Pommel Strike and Shrug It Off, I think, are better options at the moment. And if we're going for block synergy, I think it might be Shrug It Off. Especially if we can upgrade the card that lets us attack with our block, since it'll be 0 mana. Pommel Strike is a strike card, though, and has the same effect. Can we see our deck currently? We're at 14 cards. What does our percentages look like? We have 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 cards relegated to attacking, and 5 to defending. So I think we'll go for Shrug It Off in that case. And it'll pretty much cycle itself anyway, even though it takes a mana. So we're gonna go to our first shop. Alrighty. We have 272 gold. It's enough to buy potentially a couple things. We have a power, fire breathing. have Secret Technique, which lets us grab whatever skill we want from our deck, I do believe. With how small our deck is currently, that shouldn't be necessary, since we'll get almost everything we need in due time. Fiendfire seems like it's more of like a finisher card, but I don't think it really fits in our deck archetype. Offering could be good. Don't think we want to double tap. Then let's look at our artifacts before we decide if we want a card or not. Whenever you obtain a curse, increase your max HP by 6. It's pretty tempting. Every time you play 3 attacks in a single turn, gain 4 block. That could be good on turns that we don't grab, that we're unlucky and don't draw our defends. And then, whenever you add a power card to your deck, it is upgraded. Ornamental Fan theoretically could be alright in the current state of our deck, but I don't think it's super important for what we eventually want to get out of it. There's also card removal service. Let's have a look at what we could potentially remove. There's something to be said for removing a basic strike at this point in time, since we have like headbutt and such. I don't think we want to remove basic defend just yet, until we get at least one more upgrade that isn't like a draw card as well. So once again we have 5, 6, 7, 8 attack cards and 6 defend cards. So I think a strike might be the go-to option. That'll be 75 if we do that. We can't get Ornamental Fan, but we can get Offering, I think, on top of that. So I think we might go for Offering and a strike. The Offering isn't the greatest, probably for slower decks like ours is going to be. Now we don't exactly have a way to heal. So maybe we can just get away with grabbing an artifact. We have 2 fire potions and a swift potion. I think we're fine not picking any of those up. I was going to avoid getting most curses, but this would give me a reason to. If we get more energy, Ornamental Fan will work out with synergies better. The only potential option we have for energy is Offering, and we can't buy both at the same time. I think we'll just go for a strike removal, for sure. And then we might just save up what we have left. Like against normal enemy fights, Offering would be pretty good. Maybe I'll give it a try. I'll give Offering a try. We'll see how it works in this deck. I don't think it'll be great later on, but I think for now it should do plenty of work. So we're going to take 10 damage potentially. So we're just going to Ornament. Don't think we're going to get Player Rage. Rage definitely would have given us enough block though. But we can just go ahead and kill one of these louse now. Still take no damage. Now I think about it, I almost said we should have gone for the 12 HP one, but that one's not attacking, so that would have been kind of pointless. So only one is attacking this turn. Seems to be buffing up its strength, this other one. That shouldn't matter too much. It only has 16 HP otherwise. gonna shrug it off so we don't take any damage, regardless of what we choose to do. Because I think if we can, see 16 and 17 HP. I don't think we can kill either one of them, which is a bit unfortunate. So I may have misplayed there slightly. I probably should have just went and killed this one. But we'll just go ahead and damage it for now. And then take it back. Probably strike plus to try and finish things faster next turn. Strike plus will deal with him. So we'll just damage him for now. Oh, that's right. Their block doesn't last over a turn anyway. So yeah, we will just win. Not too shabby. Gain 5 block, deal 5 damage. Skills cost 0 whenever you play a skill exhausted. We saw that earlier. Then draw 1 card and place a card from your hand at the top of your draw pile. This one is more suited to slower decks like ours, I think, since we can plan a turn ahead. Iron Wave is a good middle ground, I think. I think we might Warcry though, since it'll give us slightly more flexibility. But Iron Wave will certainly be better later on, probably, I think. As far as replacing current cards in our deck. We grabbed Offering earlier, so I think we'll go for Iron Wave instead. So we've got 4 smaller enemies, a Gremlin Wizard, a Mad Gremlin, a Fat Gremlin, and a Sneaky Gremlin. We have Offering in our opening hand. We could Armaments into Offering, and I think that gives us an extra energy. But I mean, it only affects Offering once, obviously, but if we're going to Armaments it all this turn, we should definitely do it first, I think. Let's take a look. Does not give us more energy, but does give us more card draw. Let's see what we end up getting. They're going to deal 17 damage to us, and we have 5 block currently. So we need another 12 block, ideally. We have Body Slam, so should be fine to shrug it off and then defend. And then Body Slam can kill something. Don't know what's the best order to kill these in. What does this do? Angry. Whenever Mad Gremlin takes attack damage, it gains 1 strength. So we're going to want to try and one-shot him. If we can. Probably didn't need to block as much as we did if we're going to kill one of these guys. We definitely can kill the 9 damage one. So I think... yeah, that probably was a slight misplay. Let's kill the 25 HP one then. All things considered. Since that's the least wasteful as far as mana goes, I think. I'm not sure what we'll get back next turn as far as block goes. We actually do have potentially 10 block or something, so we'll take Body Slam back. It'll basically be an extra mana next turn. And we can deal 9 damage to something. Or we could block again, but that's kind of pointless. So let's go for 9 damage on... what What are we grabbing next turn? We're getting Body Slam, Iron Wave. That'll be enough for sure to kill almost anything. So we'll just do 9 damage to the one that won't gain strength. So that we don't take damage this turn. Realizing that it's only 1 strength though, we probably wouldn't have taken damage anyway, but we're weakened now, which is unfortunate. So we're going to want to block up a lot again. I think to get the most damage done, it would be Rage, Strike, Iron Wave, and then Body Slam. Yep. So we can do 11 damage. Nothing else is upgraded, so there's something to be said for armaments. And that'll make it so we take no damage no matter what. I think we'll just resign to the fact that this will take another turn. We don't need any more blocks, we'll just play both damage cards, I guess. Then we can just kill him, I think. Yep. Not too bad. We've consistently gone up in health, so... So we have Hemokinesis, lose 3 HP, deal 14 damage. Clothesline, deal 12 damage and apply 2 weak. We don't have any sources of weak, but it is 2 mana cost, which I don't think fits very well in our deck right now. As well as we don't really need to weaken our enemies as much since we're going for lots of block. And then there's Flex, which we also don't need, so I think we're just going to skip this set of cards. On to the next node. Nope, definitely want to skip that set. We have Question Mark, or 2 Campfires, or a Fight and then 2 Campfires. Let's... If we do the Fight, we'll almost certainly be at full HP for the boss, but I think with these 2 Campfires afterwards, and being only 3 HP under, that doesn't matter too much. So, first Question Mark. So it was a fight anyway. We have a Fungi Beast and a Spiked Slime. It has Spore Cloud, which on death applies vulnerable for 2 turns, so we're going to want to try and kill that one last if we can. This one's going to give a negative effect of some sort. Don't currently know what kind of negative effect that will be. I think as usual we're going to go for armaments to get 4 upgrades. They're going to do 14 damage to us. So I think we'll shrug it off. And then Iron Wave Body Slam something. And that'll do a total of a lot. Let's see if we can not get... I was going to say not get debuffed, but we are off by 2 damage. That looks like it's going to happen regardless. That's fine though, we can kill it next turn. Even if we get weakened or something like that. And we're going to take no damage this turn. We got a wound. We don't have a way to remove that from our hand or anything like that. So if it does come up, it will be a little annoying. We're just going to kill the slime, I think. Headbutt this guy and probably just defend once. What do we want back? Another attack again. I think it's not too bad upgrading the next hand, so I think we'll grab armaments. And then just block once. We just kill it, I think. Yep. Didn't even need armaments. Can get a second Shrug It Off if we want. Or a pommel strike again. I think Shrug It Offs have been pretty good value for us so far, though. Let me take a look at our ratio, though. Let's see, we have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 block cards. So I think we are probably fine to take another Shrug It Off. And then just block through most turns. And we probably can get rid of regular defend at this point. Let's go to a campfire. Doesn't matter which. So we can upgrade a card. Since we're already at full HP, we don't need a rest. So what do we want to upgrade? Offering gives 2 more cards. What does Shrug It Off become? 11 block. Body Slam becomes 0 permanently, which is pretty good. But we already kind of armament it pretty often. But that also goes for most cards anyways, so I guess we'll just go for Body Slam just in case we don't get it in our opening hand or like our second go around. And that just leaves us with the boss. I think we're pretty well prepared, but I have no idea any of their like patterns or anything like that. So we'll just see what happens as we go, I guess. It's gonna block and use a buff. If we do 30 damage, I do believe that'll interrupt it though. The question is, can we do 30 damage? And I think the answer is probably no. This will do 5. Yep. I don't see a way of doing 30. So I think we might just bash it. And then Body Slam. So that it's vulnerable the next few turns. So we have Offering. It's probably a good turn to do that since we don't have any defense. It's going to do 32 damage to us. Let's Shrug It Off twice to see what we get. So we will take 1 damage if we just block some more. Which I think is what we'll do. And then we'll see what happens next turn. We may have had a chance to interrupt him there, but I think interrupting during the negative effect is fine even though we had an Ancient Potion. We need to do 13 damage to him, which I think we will be able to do. Or not? I guess we're not. I guess it depends. Nope, Bash is already upgraded. It's a little unfortunate. Definitely don't need all the block we have. I guess we'll Shrug It Off and see what we get. Oh, now it's enough. That was a little bit of a lucky top deck. Oh wait, he was vulnerable. So I guess we didn't have to think about it as hard as we did. Unfortunately, Body Slam won't do anything. We would have rather done it in the opposite order. Though we wouldn't have had any... Yeah, in the opposite order. Because I don't think it would have triggered the next phase. Oh well. We'll try and remember that for next time, I guess. There we go. So he has Sharp Hide now. Whenever you play an attack, take 3 damage. I think we should be able to block through that, but I don't think we have enough block, really. So we will try to take as little damage as possible, though. So I think we will just not attack and waste a mana. Unless we really want something with Headbutt back next turn. What's left in our deck? One thing is already upgraded, so Armament's a little less necessary. I'm not sure we want anything else back next turn. What's our block situation look like? A Body Slam will be at least 13 damage, which could be worth it. I guess if we're going for a DPS strategy on this boss, then Body Slam is probably worth it. Let's start with Shrug It Off. I think we're okay with taking I did forget it has spike Sharp Hide, unfortunately, so we will take a lot more than like as little damage I thought we were gonna take. That should be alright still, I hope. So he's now returned to his other form, so we need to do 40 damage to revert him. He's gonna do 20 damage this turn. We can only get 13 block. Easily, that is. This way to get 17 if we play Rage first. We are really slowing down our damage output at that point, since we're only doing 1 attack afterwards. I think, as expected, Rage isn't going to be nearly as good in this deck as could otherwise be. We'll Shrug It Off and see what we get, I guess. Got Armaments, that would upgrade 3 things. It's better than Rage was, so I think we'll do it and then still just Iron Wave, which is 20 block, so that's exactly as much as we needed. So he's going for a buff and block. So I'm thinking just bash Headbutt. That should be fine. Yep. Armament's not necessary, though he is going to do a lot of damage to us. But I still think we get more block out of Rage than 2 attacks. He's still vulnerable, so we don't necessarily need to bash just yet. And we won't be able to get it back for another cycle of our deck, though. So if we want to keep it up, now would be the time to do it. But I think we need to go for as much block as we can get, really. Oh, and he got interrupted. So once again, we didn't need to think through that as hard as we did, but it was alright, I guess. He's gonna buff instead now. I think we're just gonna throw down our poison potion now and try and get through this fight a little faster. We don't need the fire potion just yet. We'll do that if it can get us a kill at any point in the future. He's gonna do 9 damage. He is spiky again. don't think we want to reshuffle our cards just yet. So I think we'll just go for this and take a tiny bit of damage. Just gonna do 16 now, and we can get some. In total, we can do 18, 38, 42, that would be 49. If he was still vulnerable, we'd have the kill, I guess. But unfortunately, we decided not to do that a turn ago, so I think we will just block a lot. And then take no damage. So I think we're in the final stretch. I think we will use our fire potion if it can get us to kill this turn. It's 20. I think we have exactly enough if we do that. Headbutt, body slam. It's 10, 18, 38, 41. So it's only enough if we headbutt body slam. Which means we can't bash. Which is alright. Just in case this somehow takes an extra turn. Take back body slam, I think. Then throw the fire potion. Miss block, I guess. And he should die to poison. Oh, that was the first boss down. And we got our fire potion back. And we can grab a new card again. Whenever you gain block, deal 3 damage to a random enemy, and that's power. So I definitely think we're going Juggernaut then, since that's basically the deck we're building around. Then we have ourselves a new chest. Pick a relic. Runic Cube, max HP is lowered by 20%. Whenever you lose HP, draw 1 card. Gain, I'm gonna guess that's energy. I'm still not 100% familiar with the symbols, and I think that's what was on offering. Gain energy at the start of each turn, you can no longer gain gold. And then gain energy at the start of each turn, you can no longer use potions. Well, if I was to pick one of the energy ones, I think I definitely would go with Ectoplasm, since we've been making good use of our potions up until now. And then Runic Cube is probably a not necessary, so I think it's either skip or Ectoplasm. Can't be sure if we'll have like a shop on whatever path we're picking next floor yet. And I was kind of looking forward to trying out some more shop stuff this first run, but I think we will just go Ectoplasm because I think the extra energy will be pretty useful. And I don't want to get rid of potions necessarily. I rather would pick both an energy up and any of the artifacts really on our, since we have so few at this point in time. So now we're on to Act 2 of the city. And I think that's where I might call this stream right now. Can just save and quit. So I think we will just go ahead and do that. And we'll probably continue this tomorrow after Factorio again, because I don't see a reason why not.